Hi everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. Today we're making a very exciting recipe. We're doing energy bars, and these are great for on the go if you're doing a big workout and you need a little energy. These are great. It's an easy way to make energy bars without paying the steep price that you normally pay at the store. And it literally just takes a few minutes to put together. You just need a food processor and then your ingredients. The ingredients I'm using for this is 3/4 of a tablespoon of almond butter. We've got 1 tablespoon of sunflower seeds, 1 tablespoon of golden flax seeds, and 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, 1/3 cup of oatmeal, 1/4 cup of almonds, a tablespoon of cocoa powder, a tablespoon of quinoa flour, and 2 tablespoons of honey, and a tablespoon of maple syrup. Now, as far as the seeds and the nuts, you can completely change that up to your liking if you prefer a different kind of nut. So really, all you do is put the ingredients in, like I'm going to do now. So these are all the seeds. These are our dry mixture. Now, the cocoa powder is unsweetened. That's very important because it's sweet enough with the honey and maple syrup. And so now I'm going to put this in, the maple syrup and the honey. Just a recommendation for when you do this, I would recommend greasing, like I've done here. I used the baking spray for this bowl, so it's come out a lot easier by doing that. So I've put all that in. Now the peanut butter. And you really don't want to put in more than this. I mean, this is a lot of peanut butter actually for one recipe. But the reason I really like the nutty flavor from it, but you don't want to put too much because you don't want too much of the oil being released. Then we have our oats and our nuts, and we've got all our ingredients in. The next step is going to be kind of loud, so I may do this off camera, but I'm going to mix these together. Alright, so our mixture is now all together. Just a little note, I decided to add another tablespoon. I added a tablespoon more of maple syrup. You could do another tablespoon of honey if you prefer. Make sure when you're using the maple syrup you use real maple syrup, because there's nothing worse than that imitation stuff. So you may need to vary it. I find the amount of the syrup and the honey that you need is a little different every time depending on the dry ingredients that you use. So that's what you're looking for. Sorry everyone, my footage seems to have cut off. You're going to want to put this in a prepared, basically press it down in a prepared loaf pan. Alright, so I've put the mixture into the loaf pan, as you can see. That's what it looks like when it's flattened down, and it's got so much nutrition. You got your protein, your carb. Like, it's really a like when you're on the run and you don't have time like to sit down for a meal. This is a great option. And so all you have to do now is put it in the fridge for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes to let it really set, and then you can cut it. Now, for this, you can get anywhere, I would say, typically speaking, if you want like a good sized bar, I would say this is really for 4, like this is a recipe for 4 pieces. So if you wanted, you could actually double this recipe and put it in a square baking pan. But for now I'm just doing it this way. So you should get 4 out of this. You can make them smaller if you want. I find them quite filling, and I usually like to have a little piece at lunch, and so that's an option as well. Like, it's kind of like a little treat dessert. It's not very sweet. The sweetness is mainly coming from the maple syrup and the honey, because all the other ingredients are unsweetened. Anyway, so I'm going to put this in the fridge, and I'll come back later to take a taste. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's been about 20 minutes, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So this is one of our bars, and this is cut in 4. So this is what it looks like. And basically what I like to do is wrap this in saran. And so I'll just grab a piece of saran. Just seal it in its wrapping and keep it stored in the refrigerator until you need it. And it's that simple. We've made energy bars in like 20 minutes, and you save a lot of money because I think now they're ridiculous in price. They're about, I think they're about, I've seen some that are like $5. Like, it's crazy. And people go out and spend this money when they can get the same good quality nutrition, probably better, at home. So I'm just going to try a bite. I'm not that hungry, so I'll just try a taste to see what it's like. It's got a good almond flavor. I can taste the almonds in it, even though there's only about a quarter cup of almonds. The taste of the sesame and the flax seed are really coming through. If you don't like those, you can use a different kind of seed. You could even up the oats or the nuts in this recipe, but I like to add the seeds. This is a very good recipe because it will keep you filled. It will keep. I find it's very filling and leaves you satisfied longer. I believe these are very good. I calculated, I think there's about, for each of the bars, there's about 200 calories or so, which is roughly around what you would expect. 200 calories, that is if you cut it evenly in 4. Anyway, this is a great recipe. I hope you give it a try. It's great for runners. It's really good for any occasion when you're on the go and you're just in a hurry and you don't have time for a meal, or you're out on a strenuous exercise regime, if you're training for a marathon. These are all the good reasons to have one of these. They pack so much nutrition and they're very good for you. It's not very, very sweet. There's, as you know, there's a bit of honey and maple syrup. That's the only place where you're really getting those sugars to come out. But even still, the taste is pretty, it's sweet. It's just sweet enough. It's not overly sweet. It's probably not as sweet as many of the energy bars that are out there on the market. But I would definitely recommend this recipe. I hope you enjoyed it. This was actually a recipe. I didn't use any protein powders. I am a runner, but I don't use those protein powder stuff. I don't know. I just don't. So this is a recipe used without it. And it's using pretty much ingredients that you probably already have on hand. And I mean, just seeds, oats, nuts, a little bit of honey, a little bit of maple syrup. If you don't have maple syrup, you could use a light corn syrup if you want. But I just prefer maple syrup. I try to stay away from corn syrup. Whatever you want, and you can change the proportions a little bit, and if it's a little dry, you add a little more. Like you saw, I added a little more maple syrup in this recipe, because depending on the ingredients you use, it will turn out a little bit different. But I'm going to post the details down below and what I actually needed and things like that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And of course, also please leave me feedback. It really helps me a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.